would like to remind all of our listeners that the opinions expressed by the DJs, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect those of UChoice Radio. It's not our intention to label, discriminate, make hate, or annoy anyone. Please keep in mind that this is only entertainment and is intended for listeners with a sense of humor. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest internet radio station on the planet. Even the other radio stations are tuning in. Your choice, your music. UChoiceRadio.com.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in with What's Trending with Jinnea. I have 10 topics to talk about today. The first one is Miss USA 30 pounds moon-inspired costume. That's how much how much that costume weighed that she wore. She is the 71st Miss Universe winner. She was announced Saturday, January 14th. In the pageant, in this pageant, she wore a massive moon-inspired costume that was like 36 inches in diameter and said to have weighed 30 pounds. So I don't know if you guys have looked at all online or anything, or if you follow these pageants and stuff, but apparently this is the first time they ever wore a costume this. I look at the weight more than I do like the 36 inches in diameter, which is still, I would believe to be very difficult to move around in, but I mean, do you? If you can move around with that much stuff restricting the way you move in your peripheral vision, by all means, it's a pageant and it's one way to stand out there as the 71st pageant winner for Miss Universe. So anyways, this costume though is pretty unique if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at it. And the winner's name is R. Bonnie Gabrielle. I don't know if I think I said it's Bonnie. It definitely looks like Bonnie. So, anywho, she is the winner, and it's a pretty big dress. And those of you who don't know, I'm definitely wearing a wig right now, just because I do not like coloring my hair blonde anymore. I've done it too many times, and yeah, my hair is not too happy about it. So, but isn't it cute? This is just side comments now. All right, next topic is new skimming devices reported at gas stations. So those of you who get gas and you don't like going in to talk to the, merchant at the, checkout area to just, auto pay for your gas or use your cash to pay, and you use the machines outside, the police are reminding people to make sure that the machines are not tampered with. There are new skimming devices that they're hiding under different areas now of these gas station chip readers. And this was discovered in Massachusetts. Ooh, I almost said that wrong. At a pilot travel center, and they found, I think they discovered 3 of the devices there, and they're different from all the other ones, which is why they reported it. And so what you need to know is all those stickers that are on the gas stations, you need to make sure that they're not even if they're even slightly tampered with, where it looks like the sticker was like taken off and put back on, don't use it. Also pay attention to all the corners of the machine. Make sure that there's nothing messed with on any side, like somebody was picking at it or something. Because these devices are like hidden, inside of theirs, and that how they steal your guys' stuff is, or everyone's stuff, is it's kind of like a screenshot. It screenshots, the information, like a copy of the card's information and sends it to whoever, you know, that skimming device belongs to. And then they just do a bunch of fraudulent charges on your account. So definitely be wary of any type of gas stations, devices that you use. You go to a gas station, you go to put your card in there, make sure you're paying attention. All right, topic 3. Teen Moms 2 Chelsea, I think I'm saying this name right, Houska, will have her own TV show. And this won't be like her original TV show where she's, you know, talking about, well, they're not really necessarily talking about it, but they're filming her as a teen mom. This won't be a sequel to After Teen Mom or anything like that. This is going to be based off of like fixing up homes and things like that. Apparently her and her spouse, I'm not necessarily sure if they're engaged or married or what the case is, so I'm just going to call him her spouse. They apparently love watching shows on HGTV, specifically Fixer Upper, and they binge watch that, and they were overseeing a property they bought in South Dakota. Yeah, South Dakota. And I guess they channeled their inner contractor while between watching Fixer Upper and building their home and kind of weaving whatever they learned from that into, you know, the remake of their new home. And that inspired them to start their own design business. And basically that design business will obviously entail, like, you know, different, you know, designs for homes and, you know, whatever they do for remodeling homes. So they are going to be launching a new TV show with HGTV, and it actually already launched. I believe it premiered at 9 p.m. on HGTV at HGTV at 9 p.m. on January 16th, and it is called Down Home Fab. So her spouse and her came up with, I'm not really sure what the name of their business is, I just know the name of their show. And if you like remodeling shows, this, I mean, I wouldn't say it'd be similar to Fixer Upper, but it's definitely going to be a show about remodeling homes. So if that's what you're into and you love Chelsea from Teen Mom and you're a fan of her, you can watch this show, learn something different about her other than her being a teen mom and going through the struggle. Now you get to see her, you know, remodeling homes and doing something else with her life other than just being a mommy. So I thought that was exciting to see because I actually do like Chelsea. I know they're all teen moms and they're all having their struggles and things like that. So I'm definitely not trying to judge any of the teen moms, but out of all the teen moms, even though she had her relationship struggles with the guy she was dating, he definitely was not very nice to her at all, especially while she was pregnant. I definitely did like her personality and the way she persevered through all that stuff that she was going through. So I am definitely glad to see that she's doing something completely different. And I understand, you know, binge watching Fixer Upper, and because they take homes that are not looking good at all, like really bad condition, and they really inspire you to want to like fix up your own stuff with how good they make those houses look. So I could definitely see why she wanted to do her own TV show once, you know, she remodeled her own home in South Dakota and, you know, got a bunch of praise for how well she did. If it's already spiking your interest to the point where you're binge watching a show and you're creating your own different designs and looks in your own dream home, then by all means, if you have the ability to make your own show and you figured out how to make money off of it, do something you love to do. And I think it's awesome that, she found that, area of expertise, as you will. Next topic. Unpredicted heat waves due to El Nino return in 2023. So it's been really cold in Arizona, and I know I shouldn't be saying that because Arizona is known for its heat, but it's been cold. Like, I took a picture of my windshield, and there's literally like ice frozen on my windshield, and I was like, ugh, I just used my defrosters. I didn't feel like grabbing my hose and, doing all that all over my windshield just to get the ice off. But I just sat there and let it defrost. But I was like, last time I remember this type of stuff was when I lived in Minnesota. So I'm not used to it now. But I also know with how hot it gets in Arizona, I need to not complain about how cold it is, because we get 117, 119. I believe sometimes we even got into the 120s in heat out here. Like, there's heat advisories, heat warnings and stuff. So I know how hot it gets to where I don't use a furnace in my house at all or anything. So definitely not trying to complain about the cold. And with what I read about the heat wave due to El Nino, I feel like hopefully it doesn't change things too significantly to where we have heat all the time, because it gets really hot in Arizona. It's no thank you. I don't want that type of heat. But anyway, El Nino's return in 2023. They say that it's going to be towards around the end of 2023. So I'm guessing with their estimations, they're looking at probably October, November, December-ish, somewhere within those 3 months. They're expecting El Nino's return, and they're estimating it increasing the what is it called? The Celsius by 1.5. I'm not really sure the significance of the 1.5. It sounds like a small number to me, but it can't be a small number if they're reporting it and they're saying it's going to cause a significant, change in the climate due to how long we have heat. They say that once El Nino returns, you won't feel the full effect of the heat until 2024. And then they say that in 2024, they expect 2024 heat records to be the top around the world. I guess to make the 5th or 6th record around the world. So this isn't just going to affect Arizona, by the way. It's going to affect the whole world. The increase will be 1.5 Celsius around the whole world is what they're guesstimating, and that we won't feel the full effects of it till 2024. And they're saying that it should, make a new record, for world temperatures. So let's hope it's just not too hot, you guys. Like, I'm really telling myself, blue eyeshadow and everything, appreciate the cold. Appreciate it. Blue is for, cold, red is for hot, It's like my motivation makeup today, you guys. I was reading all this stuff and I was just like, I really need to appreciate the cold more, as I told you guys before. So, done dwelling on that. Let's pray El Nino doesn't, make it too hot, because that's not fun for anyone. Moving on, Blueface arrested for attempted murder. This happened January 15th in Vegas, and it was due to an incident that took place October 8th. So even though he is arrested January 15th, it was due to the incident that took place in October 8th. And from the videos that were released, it showed him firing into a vehicle. And the reports were that there was some type of altercation between Blueface and his associates or his friends or whatever inside of a club. And either the guy got followed out to the parking lot or they made contact in the parking lot. And the result was Blueface shooting into that guy's vehicle. And they managed to have 6 to 8 undercover cops catch them in Vegas. They're all in unmarked vehicles outside of Lolo's Waffles. I think it's called Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. He was with Chrisean Rock, which is his girlfriend. I guess they're just apparently looking at their phones, and they got swarmed by all these police, and obviously they tackled him to the ground, cuffed him. His bail was set at $50,000. And then his court, I think, just happened. January 24th is when his court date was. Hopefully everything went well, but I mean, he does have serious allegations. Obviously, it's a felony to be shooting at people, you guys. I know everyone's allowed to have guns, but it's definitely frowned upon to be shooting them at people. I don't know exactly what happened with this whole altercation between him and the other guy, but the warrant that was issued that caused him to get arrested January 15th was a felony attempted murder, and with the use of a firearm or tear gas or, anything that can cause harm. And then additional charges, discharging a weapon into a vehicle, building, or house. So those are his charges. And so, yeah. I mean, I really don't know what you can say about it when they have video. I guess we'll just see how that story unfolds, see if he ends up doing time or not. But so far, that is what's reported on, Blueface's stuff. And I know they're in the media a lot. I know Chrisean Rock just posted that she's pregnant, and those two are broken up. I don't know if they got back together because they break up, get back together, break up, get back together. So the relationship is so rocky that I know they were together when he got arrested and tackled to the ground January 15th. But as of current, it was reported that she's pregnant and they're not together. So who knows about that? Those of you who are, wondering about, are they still together or things like that? As far as I know, they're not currently. Moving on, Marvel's Jeremy Renner. So, I'm really bad at names. So if you're bad at names, but you watch the Avengers, he's the guy that plays Hawkeye. He is in the ICU after getting hit by a snow plow. This is said to happen near his Tahoe residence. And it is said that he has broken over 30 bones, and he's had 2 surgeries so far. I'm definitely hoping that he makes a full recovery. Obviously, I know that with such severe injuries to the point where you're in ICU and you have so much therapy after that, doctors can't really say what's going to happen or how things are going to go. They can't promise, that you're going to be the best version of yourself after something like that. Like, I'm surprised that he got hit by a snowplow and survived. Like, that is a significant thing to survive from. Like, those things are, like, huge. I mean, I don't know what kind of snowplow he got hit by, but that's still, like, he survived it. That's crazy. Of course, a lot of fans and people who worked with him have shown him love and support and gave him wishes to get better and things like that. Yeah, that's like crazy. I was like, what? He got hit by a snowplow? That's crazy. This snowplow did cause blunt force trauma to his chest, and he has obviously orthopedic injuries because he has over 30 bones broken. So, I mean, obviously, anytime you break a bone, they tell you, like, you're that one bone is like 6 months worth of recovery. So I could only imagine with over 30 that he's going to be recovering for a long time. So I don't know if there even was going to be another Avengers, but if there was, this is just my speculation. I don't know if Hawkeye could just return to that with the injuries he has because they're so significant. Tell me what you guys think. I mean, how long do you think it'll take for him to recover from that? I'm thinking 2 years minimum. But you guys let me know what you think. Because, I mean, it was a snowplow. Snowplow. Anyways. Moving on. Jennifer Lopez speaks on the transition of blending families with Ben Affleck. Those of you who don't know, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are now married. She has twins, and her husband has 3 children. Her twins are 14, and her husband's kids, I believe, are 18, 14, and 11. I'm not going to say their names because they're kids, well, except for the 18-year-old, but still, it's not really important. What's important is the topic of blending families, because that's always so difficult when you have, like, you're running your household one way and you're used to things a certain way and doing things a certain way, and then you get married or you get into a serious relationship and everything goes well, then you're combining the families together. If, like the spouse has their own set of children and everything, you get serious enough, then it's like, okay, it's time for us to move in together, because obviously, you only date for so long. So it's obviously natural for, the relationship to progress into you guys moving in together, and obviously they're married, so blending of families happens. So basically, she's saying that it was an emotional transition, but it's also like the best year she's had since she's had her twins. So obviously the transition is going well for her. I think with blended families, it comes down to balance. And I think the only way balance can even happen is with 2 people having respect for each other and understanding how, the relationship should go. I think it has to be a strong relationship first before you can even blend the family. Because you need to be able to communicate to the point where even when you disagree, you're respectful. And then also you have to get to a point too where what boundaries do not get crossed. So your expectations, like and you know the consequences if those boundaries are broke, because it is healthy to have consequences, because in relationships, if you don't have proper boundaries in place and you just constantly let people walk over your boundaries and break them and not give anyone consequences for it, you're going to be unhappy, you're going to be resentful, you're going to be miserable, and that does no good for a relationship. And bringing kids into that, especially from two different households and blending them together, it's like a recipe for disaster. So for her saying that, you know, it was an emotional transition, but also one of the best decisions she's made since she had her twins, tells me that they have a really good, respectful relationship, and they have a good understanding of what they need from each other, and they can communicate that without it being, you know, detrimental to their relationship. So it's good to hear that, because I always have like mixed reviews from people on blended families and how they operate and work. So it's nice to hear from someone, you know, we blended our families and, you know, it was emotional because, you know, now they're having to adjust to new personalities, new people, so on and so forth. But with how they did the transition, it was the best decision they ever made. That was cool to hear, and congratulations to them on their marriage, and, you know, they're, you know, blending their families together and making a healthy environment for their kids. That's not always easy, and that is definitely a good accomplishment. So it was a cool read, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Did you guys know that Hipdot, we're moving on now, just so you know. Do you guys know what Hipdot is? Those of you who don't know, it is a makeup company. Makeup company. So anyway, they're actually a really good brand. I like them. And they do collabs. They do various different collabs with all different types of characters, artists, so on and so forth. So they released, they did a collab with both Korn and Evanescence, and they did these palettes inside CDs. Of course, they're sold out. I saw the one for Evanescence, and I was like, that would be amazing for my blue eye look. Could do so many different types of blue eyes with that. They sold out. So I was not able to get the Evanescence palette, and then I discovered that they had a Korn one too, which I'm a fan of both Korn and Evanescence. So of course I try to get both, and they're sold out. So those of you who are interested in those bands and you like makeup, you can visit Hipdot and, you know, do a notification, like notify me when the product's available again, and potentially get your hands on this product. I am still currently waiting for them to give me that notification. So I do not know exactly how long you will have to wait to get that notification to purchase, you know, one of those palettes, either Evanescence or Korn. But they do have that collab out, and I thought it was really cool that it was like a CD, one of their CDs, a replica of it, but inside is the palette. That's pretty cool. I believe they were selling for $22 or $23. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I saw them selling for. The next thing we're going to talk about, I saw a lot of this on social media as well. And some of you guys were pretty harsh on your comments too. I mean, you said stuff like red tampon. And then somebody else was referring to Doja Cat as like, I don't know, like the red lobster looking villain in Powerpuff Girls. I have to admit, like in fashion, it's also used to make a statement, not necessarily be the most prettiest thing you see. So I think they're looking to make a statement more so than it being pretty. Because obviously, I would never want to be in 30,000, I think it's 30,000 crystals that they put on her. And she was in crimson red. I don't know if I think they were crimson red crystals, but I'm not 100% sure. I know she had to have been painted as well. But this look took 4 hours and 58 minutes for them to accomplish. And this was at the Spring 2023, I think it's called Couture show in Paris. Had unusual designs from, I'm probably gonna butcher this, you guys, but it's Scriparli. I'm gonna read off to you guys, because this wasn't the only look. This is just the look that was most talked about. And for 4 hours and 58 minutes of creating the look, it should be. I mean, let's just keep that real, like, really. But that wasn't the only look they had. They had animal heads made from foam, gold-plated face and body paint, and the idea of this show was to blur the lines between real bodies and objects. And I mean, they had like some people with dresses on their head going straight up. I did not understand the purpose of it. I also do not know how she was able to walk, because like, where was her face? You know, like, how did she do that? But also, what was the point? I would never wear that, like, ever. Like, the dress starts here, covers your whole head, and then goes straight up. Like, what's the statement? Like, you're not wearing the dress, but the dress is wearing you? Or, you're definitely not wearing the dress. Your head is wearing the dress. I don't know. Somebody tell me what your perspective is. What do you think they're trying to say with that statement piece? Because that one was the most confusing to me. I was looking at that one for a minute. They had, they had some pretty unusual things going on there. And Doja Cat had to have had a lot of patience to be able to sit still for 4 hours and 58 minutes while they're doing that look. Like, even though it's the most unusual thing we've ever seen, I think some people refer to her as like Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob too. I mean, it's definitely unusual. Don't get me wrong. I would not want to wear something like that anyway. But like, her patience though, something you all need to be giving her props for, because that's a lot of time to be spending on like an outfit. Like, a lot. Like, I wouldn't be able. 30,000 crystals. 30,000. I'm gonna butcher his name again, but Scriparli. His designs is a blend between femininity. I think I'm saying that right. Femininity and masculinity. I know I'm saying masculinity right. I've never heard of femininity before. I don't know. Anyway, that's what his brand goes for. So all the designs to makeup, to how they used makeup, to everything in it, was to give that kind of feel while his designs are being shown. Like I said, in fashion, they also use it to make statements, not necessarily to be something you'd want to wear every day. So, that's that. Moving on, Snow the Product released her tour dates. And you can buy tickets Friday. So tomorrow, the sales go live for her tickets. The tour date starts March 30th and ends May 19th. This tour is called the 15 I never had, or Kints I never had, or Quinceañera, or something like that. I think it's Kints though. The Kints I never had. Yeah, so January 27th, the tickets are on sale. The link to the tickets will be in the description for those of you who want tickets. Just click the link, and depending on whatever state or city you're in, that's where you'd buy the tickets, unless you want to go to a different state and see her, or if you want to go to all of the states that she's in. Like, that would be super cool of you. How awesome would that be? I think any artist would love that. So anyways, the link to her tickets will be in my description, along with like everything I talked about today. I'm definitely going to be going to the one that's in Phoenix. So hopefully I see you guys there if you are Snow the Product fans, like I am. But yeah, other than that, stay healthy. Take care of the environment. Don't harm people or animals. Be a good person as much as you can be. I know people are not perfect, but that is it for today. See you next Friday, 5 p.m. What's Trending with Jinnea? Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest internet radio station on the planet.
Even the other radio stations are tuning in.
Your choice, your music. UChoiceRadio.com.